people throughout history have left us a trail of breadcrumbs to follow. I call it the hero's path. And for the next few minutes, I'd like to invite you to walk with me down the hero's path and pick up a few of those breadcrumbs.
Motivational speaker Dan Castro spent 10 years researching the lives of people who have overcome extreme adversity. His research led to the award-winning book, Critical Choices, and his concept of the hero's path, which he shares with audiences everywhere. And now, Dan Castro.
And that's what you need, no matter what you identify as your passion, your calling in life. I challenge you to sit down and write down your list of big enough reasons why, because if you don't have a big enough reason why, you're never going to get up off the couch and you're never going to catch that train. But Lance Armstrong got hit by a brick. And he made a critical choice because, you see, he could have let that brick weigh him down. But the critical choice he made was to turn that brick into a foundation, a platform from which he could stand up and shout his message to the masses. These are the four primary ways that heroes throughout history have identified their passion. Sometimes they receive a calling from within. Sometimes they get a tap on the shoulder. Sometimes they get hit by a brick. Sometimes they just look around and find something that excites them or just pisses them off. But you know what? They all have a big enough reason why. And they all know inherently that they're not just going to survive, but that they're going to prosper no matter what. So I went running down to the beach, and I saw hundreds of tiny little baby sea turtles running to the sea with their little flippers as fast as they could go. And I was tiptoeing around trying not to step on them, and they were crawling all over my feet. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, how do they know where to go? And he goes, oh, that's easy. They just follow the light. I thought, they follow the light. So I remember taking my flashlight, shining it down on the sand and walking towards the water, and I turned around and looked behind me and saw this little trail of baby sea turtles just like this following me. And I was like, come on, baby sea turtles. You know? I was like a Pied Piper, and I felt like their papa, going, come on, and I was leading them to safety. And when they hit the water, they swam like this and made little splashes, and they disappeared in the darkness. And I was like, wow. But it was in that moment as though the sound of the wind and the sound of the ocean waves and the moon and the stars, and yes, even the baby sea turtles, spoke a message to me. And it was weird because the message seemed to have the same rhythm as the ocean waves. And the message was this: the earth will always provide for her own. I'm like, what? The earth will always provide for her own. Yeah, that's right. The earth will always provide for her own. And aren't I one of the earth's own? And aren't I just as significant as one of those little baby sea turtles? And it was in that moment that I knew that I was not just going to survive, but that I was going to prosper despite all the obstacles and despite all the odds. I want to leave you with a quote from my all-time favorite artist and philosopher, Michelangelo, who said this. He said, the greater danger for most of us is not that we aim too high and we miss it, but that we aim too low and we reach it. Thank you.